West Ham United versus Manchester City. I mean, it doesn't really get much tougher, does it? Premier League champions, well, not European champions as well. Of course, won the treble last season. Fabulous football club, really, aren't they? In terms of their quality and everything else, and the manager and everything. Really, they just ooze it, don't they? Have a total top quality in every department. Not only even off the pitch, isn't it? Everything about them, the recruitment, and it's just such a well-oiled machine, Manchester City. I'm parking the the charges that have been put against them in terms of that. I appreciate there's stuff going on with that, and we don't know a lot about it. And to be honest, I don't know enough about it myself, other than they've just got these charges raised against them for financial issue, unfair reporting or accounting or whatever. But I'm just parking all of that kind of stuff. You've got to admire Man City, really, because I do think they get a bit of a bad rep, actually. As a club, they do seem to be one that people always use the sort of the lazy rhetoric of, oh well, they just bought success, they bought the title, and I get what people are saying. Well, that is of course true. Without their ownership, would they have won the Premier League? Probably very very unlikely. But that's not to say that they've just splashed loads of money, because you look at other clubs that do the same. Look at Manchester United. Outspent Manchester City, and they're not nowhere near them. It's just spending money doesn't mean you're going to be successful. We've seen that. West Ham have done it, haven't we, a couple of times now in our time? Not too often, but we did that summer. I think it was under Pellegrini, wasn't we? Spent about £100 million in one summer. We were all going, wow, it's been amazing, and not a lot came of it. So I don't buy into that, and I think that you need that. The recruitment strategy and how they identify the right players, etc., it needs to be admired, really. And then, of course, you've got a wonderful manager. But before we go into sort of like talking about the game and West Ham, etc., I just want to talk about Man City, obviously, first. I mean, I've got to be honest. I think because of they've had quite a fair bit of change this summer. Gundogan leaving the club, I think, was a big blow for the club. I think they managed to keep on to Silva, which was huge. But I think Gundogan leaving, that is a huge hole. And I've got to admit, I actually did feel that they would struggle. I thought that struggle possibly, but I didn't think they would hit the ground running. I thought it was going to take a while to adjust and get themselves sorted, and possibly like a bit of a transition sort of period for the club. But I appreciate we're still earlier in the season, but it just seems like it's been like a seamless transition, doesn't it? The players they've brought in have just fitted in very well. Kovacic has been absolutely excellent, and they just look very, very good, very well-oiled machine, and top of the league, one played 4, 1-4. I mean, they're looking very, very good. And I'm just really, really impressed with them overall and how they've managed that kind of change. I think it has to be admired. I mean, when you consider the challenge they had last season, Arsenal obviously dominated the Premier League in terms of, when I say dominated the Premier League, but they were number one, weren't they, for quite some time. But Man City had to do a bit of catch up. The way they handled that title race was a real indication, I think, of where Man City are now. They seem to have really matured now as a club. They've got that sort of that culture, that culture of winning things, and I think it's now starting to embed in Man City. They remind me of Manchester United back in the 90s, that kind of ruthless way of winning it, and that's what I thought of last season when I think it was amazing to watch them, actually, considering the fact they were chasing. To Arsenal, who at that point were, when I say this point, to midway through the season, were, way ahead of Manchester City and continually getting results. And Man City just didn't waver, did they? I mean, they just didn't. They just kept going and going and going, and it was almost like they knew they were going to win the league. They never seemed to be nervous and worried. It was almost like they always knew they were going to pick Arsenal to the title. And I think that's you got to have admire that. That is a real sign of a winning side. And I just think now that we're starting to see that Man City now. And I think that showed last season, not only with the Premier League, but then going to win the Champions League as well. They really are like a ruthless beast now. And as I said, I was concerned for them this season. Not obviously overly concerned, but I did think when I looked at Man City, I did think I think they'll struggle a little bit. I think at the start of the season, they're going to have they're going to be probably having to play catch up again, but I'm just not convinced on that now. I feel like already you can see a side that looks so assured, they know what they're doing, and West Ham up next. So we know we've got our work cut out. We'll get back to the video in just a second, but I just wanted to let you know this video is actually sponsored by Circle and specifically their game 5 Match Millions. I'm going to be honest with you, okay, that we're very picky about who we work with on the channel. For the West Ham Way, we are. And when they approached us to sponsor the channel, we said, well, okay, but I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll basically use your app for a couple of weeks just to make sure that we're happy with it. I've got to say, it's really good and very addictive, I'll warn you. Basically, the way it works is they pick 5 games for the weekend, Premier League football games, okay? And each game, you pick a number. You can do it either randomly, or you do a lucky dip, or you pick the numbers that you want. And the way it works is that it's numbers from 1 to 27, and basically the dial will spin depending on what happens in the game. So if there's a throw in, it moves 2 places to the left. If there's a yellow card, it goes 4 to the right. And basically, wherever it ends at the end of the game, it'll land on a number. And if you get that number, then you win. So basically, you can win up to £1 million if you get all 5. Okay. And the first, so if you match 1, you get your money back plus a couple of quid extra, blah, 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 blah. And basically, I think even if you match 3 numbers, you get 75 quid. So it's very, very good. And yeah, and basically all it is £2 a week to play. Now, if you click on the link below and type in West Ham Way, next weekend's games, you get absolutely free and get to give it a go. So why not just give it a go? Got nothing to lose. I've got to say, it's really, really good. And as I say, I've won already twice. It might be beginner's luck. It might well be beginner's luck, but I'm definitely going to carry on playing. But yeah, so click the link below, West Ham Way. Good luck. I mean, they've got injuries. They do have injuries. Before we go into West Ham, I want to talk about, obviously, their team at the moment. I think we have got a bit of a, a couple of little plus points for us, West Ham, going into this game because some key players are missing for Man City. Jack Grealish will be out by the looks of it. He's got a thigh problem. Didn't feature for England, so he's out. Kovacic, I've just said, come over from Chelsea. It's, wonderful player. Slotted so well into that side. Again, that's what I mean, like that clever signing. A lot of people wouldn't have necessarily said that was wouldn't have jumped around with excitement with that signing, but you can see why they've got him. Really, really, really good player, and it's just fitted him really well. John Stones, of course, is out. He hasn't played at all this season, out of injury. These are big players for Man City, but because of their incredible depth of talent of their squad, it's hard, isn't it, to sort of say that they've got a crisis. They're not really a club that can have that unless they're missing maybe 15 players. Then maybe you go, yeah, you've got a bit of a problem now. Losing even 4 or 5 main players for them, they can still deal with it, you feel. But let's make no mistake, they'll be slightly weaker without those players. I think that's fair to say, but it's how much weaker. It's not a great deal when you think of Man City. Of course, as well, there's the question marks over Haaland. Now, that is the one we're all kind of hoping. I mean, that's a horrible thing to say, but there was reports. Well, it wasn't reports. It was watching it during the week when he was playing for Norway that he got injured and he seemed to be picking up a knock. He was limping for a while. Looked like he was going to come off, but he carried on and he seemed to be all right. But there's always that kind of, okay, did he run it off? But then he came off a bit sore. Not sure. I mean, I'm going to go on the notion that he's actually going to be fine and be playing, but you never know. I think for West Ham fans, it will be a little bit keeping our fingers crossed and hearing how he is. But at this stage, I believe he'll be okay. But still, as I say, Grealish competition, Stones out, so that's a big lift for us, I think. As I say, it's not humongous, but it's still a lift nonetheless. Big game for West Ham. I mean, let's go on to West Ham about in regards to how things are at the moment. Let's be honest, stunning start to the season. I can't believe it, really. 10 points out of 12 is remarkable, considering the fact we played 3 away games. And not easy ones. Chelsea, we've had to play Brighton away. I mean, it's remarkable. Done really, really well. And I'm so impressed with us at the moment. And I think it's been excellent. I think West Ham are going to be really up for this game. I really do. I really think. I mean, I don't know about yourselves. I'd really like to know your thoughts on this one. But I'm buzzing. I'm really, you rarely feel that, do you, when you're going to go and play the Premier League and European champions? You're thinking most of the time, you're thinking, oh God, this is going to be a long afternoon. I'm really looking forward to it. The pressure's off. We don't have to win. It's not as if we're down the bottom and we're desperate for points. So don't get me wrong. I'm not going in with that attitude, thinking it don't matter. Of course it does. But it's nice to enjoy football a little bit. Go into these matches thinking, what if we can get something? What if we can? And do you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we did. With the way we're playing at the moment and the confidence that we've got going for the side, well, why not? Why not? But that being said, it's one of them games, isn't it, where, like we talked about the injuries to City, you think that, well, we've got to hope that Man City is slightly off the pace, which you'd imagine they might be slightly, just slightly, not saying massively, but they might be slightly off the pace a little bit because of the players that they have missing. And then West Ham simply had to be at our very best. We have to be at the level we were against Brighton, just that ruthless kind of approach to how we take our chances. And and that was an amazing performance, wasn't it, against Brighton? And the reason I refer to Brighton is because I think that tactic is going to be, and that setup is exactly how we're going to have to play against Manchester City, of course, being that counter attack, low block counter, and we're going to have to be absolutely ruthless because we're not going to get many chances against these sides. They're going to have the majority of the ball. I'm talking 80 maybe more % of the ball, so we're going to have to accept that. I don't think that bothers West Ham. I really don't. I don't think fans will even be that bothered with that. I think we're going to go fine. We know how good we can be, but we're going to have to be defensively absolutely bang on. Well, when I say just defensively, everywhere across the pitch, every player is going to have to be at 100% and so focused because it's one of them games. It's going to require it, but that's not to say that we won't. A couple of points I want to say before we go into the team and the prediction. Kudus, Mohamed Kudus. This is a player that. Wow, I'm really excited to see. And it's quite strange, isn't it? Because it's a big arrival for West Ham, this is. This is a player that was highly sought after by top clubs. And yet we've pulled it off. But because of the fact that he joined right before the deadline day, then he was then playing for he came on and played against Luton Town as sort of cameo, effectively last 10 minutes, whatever. It's almost like it's been a bit forgotten. The press aren't really making much of a noise of this, but like I said in the previous video, I can't remember the journalist who put this up or one of the writers that said about the West Ham are kind of flying under the radar at the moment. We're not really getting a lot of attention. I just think it suits us. And the Kudus transfer kind of falls into that, doesn't it? Because it's almost like it's been forgotten. And I'll tell you why I've say that as well is because I was talking to a couple of people earlier. One is a Manchester United fan and one's a Chelsea fan, I think, top of my head. And he was saying... And they were saying to me, blah, blah, about West Ham, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, and I mentioned about Kudus, and straight away it was, oh, yeah. I forgot you signed him. I forgot, you know what I mean? It's almost like, and I think sometimes I'm a little bit guilty of it. Like, I feel like I sort of remind myself a little bit of, and I'm, do you honestly, I'm really, really looking forward to it. Really looking forward to seeing him play. I think that's something to be very excited about. And dare I say, a boost for this game. It's a lift for us. And we're going to need it, aren't we? We're going to need those sort of lifts going into playing against a team of this quality. As well as Kudus, there's other players they're mentioning, I think, that are going to be vital. They're all going to have to be vital in this game, but the players that seem to be on really good form at the moment, Jarrod Bowen being one. My word, he's really started the season well, hasn't he? He's like back to his very best. If anything, he's probably playing his best football, I would say, as far as saying that now for West Ham. Just looks such good form. He's got to be in the England squad soon. Fully deserves it. Paqueta as well. How can we not talk about Paqueta? He's just been sublime for West Ham. And again, another player, you just think we're going to need him to be at his very best, and because of the whole Man City link this summer, and obviously all falling through because they're betting allegations and stuff, is this going to be the game where he steps up and goes, you know what? I'm going to silence everyone, because he did score, if you remember, in the penalty against Chelsea. That was the game following all these allegations coming up. It's like he's one of them players I think will thrive off that. And I just get the feeling like he'll be really licking his lips for this one, going, I'm going to show City. I'm going to show everyone what they're missing out on. I really hope so anyway. And I'm going to be honest, as you can probably tell from this video. One, I'm in a good mood. And two, I've got some real optimism about this. I'm really going into this game feeling... I've got a buzz. There's a buzz going on here. I'm feeling good, and I'm really looking forward to it. And do you know what? I'm waiting to hear from Riley, see if he's got a preview for me. And he hasn't got it through. He's away, unfortunately. This is why I'm only doing the previews on my own. It's probably why I realise I'm doing all the videos this week. Riley's away on holiday. I don't know whether you knew, but yeah, he's away. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm doing the preview on my own, I'm afraid. So I can't compare what his prediction would be, but I can pretty much guarantee, right? I know it's a bit harsh, but I can guarantee he said we're going to lose. I reckon he would say we're going to lose 2-0 or 3-1, something like that. That's my gut feeling what he would predict. He may come back to me during this video and with a prediction, but I'll wait and see. But look, I'm going to go with mine anyway at the moment. But I'll tell you what I'll do for team first. This is my team. And I'll tell you what, there is a bit of a dilemma coming up. I'll talk about it in a sec when it comes to team. So for me, in goal, Areola. It has to be, doesn't it? Still not 100% sold. I'm going to be honest on Areola. I'm not 100% sold. I'll tell you why. I just think at times he just looks a bit off. Just does things that look a bit strange. Doesn't clap the ball sometimes when I sort of think just catch it, to do the sometimes the simple things he does confuses me. Do you know who he reminds me of at times at Real? He reminds me of Adrian, and obviously now at Liverpool. I appreciate he is a step up from Adrian, but when Adrian used to do some really great saves, do something great, and then some of the simple things he would just do wrong and do something a bit mad. I feel like sometimes that with Areola, I've always got this worry he's going to do something a bit ridiculous, but that's not to say that I think he should be dropped. I absolutely not. He's still been a good play, a great start to the season for us, for him. And he fully deserves it. I mean, some of the saves he's pulled off have been amazing. As I say, it's just those little bits sometimes, just iron them out. The punching the ball or pushing the ball into people's part. You just think, just catch it, do something simple. That's all I would say. But he needs to work on that. But you get the feeling with him that, by the way, the Riley Finch predictions in. I'll tell you in a minute. That's going to be quite exciting. For me, Areola in goal. Soufal at right back for me. If he's fit, if he's available, he has been training, so I believe he will be available. So I can't see anything else other than Soufal starting. We'd have Kira would have been my other choice for that position, but no, I don't want to see any changes if we don't need them. Don't force any changes today. I think just stick with what we're good at. Best team available. Soufal's our best right back. Go for it. So yeah, Soufal for me. I'm going for a back four, so I'm going to go with Zuma and Agurd as the centre backs. I think that we need to stick with that. Kind of obvious. I think that's fair enough. I mean, Mavropanos, of course, is available. Actually, scored 2 goals, didn't he, for Greece away on international duty? So again, quite great option to have. I think he's just a great option, but I just don't want to change anything. As I said, I don't think so. I mean, I wasn't slightly tempted to go, should we do 3, back 5 with the 3 centre backs, but I don't know. I don't want to shake things up a little bit. I want to kind of keep things simple, I think, at the moment. That's how I'm feeling. Again, please let me know what your thoughts are on it, but that's where I'm at with it. And Emerson, of course, left back. I mean, Emerson's been outstanding. What a left back he's becoming for West Ham. I mean, really settled into the role well. I mean, one of our best players this season. Really has been great. And I take everything back I said about him when he first signed. I remember saying I was sort of a bit like, we spent all this money and I'm not really seeing it. And, we just let go of Masuaku. Yeah, it's a step up, but is it worth it? But my word, he has really proved me wrong, and brilliant. Really impressed with him. And I'm delighted for him. Absolutely delighted. And yeah, absolutely Emerson. So Alvarez for me, though, as now as that defensive midfielder sitting in front of the back four. Now, there is a slight doubt over Alvarez. The doubt is that I think he's going to be back in training tomorrow. Sorry, as I record this is Thursday, so he's going to be, as I record this, he's back in training today. So Alvarez will be back in training today. But that's the first time he's trained. Now, I mean, that's the only thing that puts me off. The jet lag and stuff. But to be honest with you, if he's fit and available, just play him. I think he's been so good for us since he's come back in, and we need to protect those back there. Zuma and Agurd as much as we can, just because the players they're going to be up against. So I really think Alvarez needs to be playing this game. Of course, the other option is probably Souček, but no, that's what I'll go with. Alvarez, most definitely. Now, this is where the dilemma is, isn't it? Because you then go, well, who's the 3 in the midfield? We've got Alvarez, you already picked 1. Who's the other 2? Is Souček going to get a place? He deserves it, probably. And maybe he's probably suited for this sort of game. I just don't know, but I can't play him, I'm afraid. I mean, Paqueta's obviously got to start. He's an unbelievable talent. What a season he's having so far already for us. And like I've just said, I just get this feeling this is going to be this sort of game, for him. And James Ward-Prowse, I mean, he has to be in the team, doesn't he? What a start to his West Ham career. Is it 3 assists and a goal in 3 games? I mean, that is pretty amazing. And didn't get the England squad. I'll work that one out. But I mean, yeah, who cares? He's in there for me. So it'd be Paqueta and James Ward-Prowse in the middle for me. And then I'm going to go with the left wing. I'm going to go Jarrod Bowen, of course. Jarrod Bowen. I mean, how can you not go with Bowen? He's been so good. Sorry, the right wing. Bowen been amazing for us, hasn't he? Just absolutely brilliant this season. Great form, goal scoring form. Absolutely. On the left. Kudus. It has to be Kudus for me. A bit harsh on Benrahma. He hasn't started the season badly. Well, he's had a great goal, didn't he, for Bowen against Brighton. He is still, he's a quality player. Frustrating at times, but yeah, still, oozes quality at times. I mean, things he can do, and he's great, obviously penalty taker, etc., etc. But no, kudos for me. I want to see him playing now. I want to see, I want to see what he's all about. I think we need that. I get the feeling, this is my team, by the way. I'm not necessarily saying Moyes will do that. I get the feeling Ben Ryan will probably start and Kudus will be benched. That's my gut feeling, but that's what I would do. And Mikel Antonio up front, of course, because how can you not? What a fantastic start to the season for him. Yes, that's my team. That is my team for the. And also, please provide your starting 11. I'd really like to know. This is your. By the way, I want to know your team. Not necessarily what Moyes is going to pick. What you would like to see as your starting 11. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. And I think it's a team that can get something. And this is going to be proven in my prediction. I'm going to go West Ham 1, Man City 0. I've got a feeling I'm going to beat them. I don't know why. I've got this feeling. I've had a feeling all week long. And I've just got this feeling in my gut. Let's have a quick look, though, at Riley's prediction now, which I can't believe he actually sent it through, which is brilliant. No, he hasn't sent it. He hasn't sent it. Sorry. Sorry for the poor build up there. I was excited. Sorry to messages. No, it's nothing to do with that. He's saying he's struggling for signal. He'll let me know later. So, yeah, unfortunately, you're not going to know Riley's prediction, but I'm going with 1-0. Riley would have gone with defeat. I'm sure of it. But, yeah, you never know. Come on, your minds.